Okay, I will call to order the meeting of the Tucson-Pima County Historic Commission Plans Review Subcommittee this Thursday, August 22nd, 2024 at 1:02 p.m. We'll start with a roll call. Savannah is present. Ricky?
Here.
Joel?
Here.
Jan?
Here.
Andrew?
Here.
Great. Item 2 on the agenda is approval of the legal action report / minutes for the meeting of June 20th and August 8th of 2024. But as I understand it, June 20th is not available at this point. So what are commissioners thinking on the August 8th minutes received yesterday for review?
I don't have any comments. I'm fine with them.
I was not there, so I don't have comments.
I'm fine with them too. I'd move to approve the August 8th minutes.
Second, Joel.
Great. Okay. So Savannah, I vote aye. Ricky?
Aye.
Joel?
Aye.
Jan?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Great. So moved. The approval of just the August 8th minutes. All right. Next on the agenda, number 3 is historic preservation zone review cases under UDC section 5.8/TSM 9-02.0.0 historic district design guidelines using the revised Secretary of the Interior standards and guidelines. Am I right, Jody, that we are reviewing case 3A today? I see 3B crossed out.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so case 3A at it's the Stone Avenue Underpass and the 6th Avenue Underpass, case SD-0724-00062. Scope is an upgrade to restore the existing lighting, patch, repair, and paint at exterior walls. It's a full review. They are individually listed structures contributing to the Warehouse National Register Historic District. And we'll be using the rehabilitation standards for review. So Jody, do you want to give us a summary?
Sure. This goes in part with the project that you reviewed at our last commission meeting, where Steve Farley presented a project for the tribute to Donovan Durbin. This is DTM's part, the Department of Transportation and Mobility, on both the Stone Underpass and the 6th Avenue Underpass. They're going to be cleaning it up, installing new lights, putting globes on the top of the existing light poles that are out there. And you'll recall painting. And so that was part of the discussion that you guys had last time on different colors of paint. We have Gabriel, and I think it's Jared, but don't quote me on that, from DTM, and they are here to present. Gabriel.
Okay, that's my cue.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so thank you Jody for the introduction. That is correct. Although all these improvements are being done under the umbrella of DTM, there are 2 different departments working on it. It is going to be Smart Mobility Division that's doing the electrical improvements, and then it is Streets Maintenance that is doing the painting, which Jerry Robles can touch on that.
And you can share your screen. I made you a co-host.
Perfect. Okay, will do. Let me give this a whirl.
Do you know how to share your screen? I always have to ask that question.
I'm going to figure it out. Maybe, okay, here we go. Let me know if you guys can see that. There should be a cover page that says Stone Ave and 6th Ave.
Yep.
Great. So this covers electrical improvements that we are planning to do to the Stone Avenue Underpass and 6th Avenue Underpass. And also I should mention, I'm filling in for Roger Kessler. He is the traffic maintenance superintendent. He has been running with this effort. I'm a smart mobility manager, and I'm kind of supporting him, and he's out right now. So with that being said, let me start the slide. So I believe at some point in a prior meeting, you guys have already talked about the pendant lighting on Stone Avenue, because I see that it got removed from the slideshow. I don't have it here, but essentially nothing is changing. They're just gonna replace any broken or missing glass shields. Every pendant light has 8 glass shields on it, and they're just gonna go through and replace them. So that is the exterior pedestrian lighting at Stone. However, the interior lighting under the underpass, as you see here on the slideshow, kind of a lot to look at, but the blue lights, which are 2, 4, 5, and 6, they work. However, lights 1 and 3 do not. So we are going to replace those with the exact same lighting fixture that already exists. And then I've got 2 pictures on the right and the left, A and B with an arrow. That is actually the pedestrian walkways underneath the underpass. There was only 2 issues. The one on the left is missing a protective grille that is going to be replaced with the same grille that is on all the other lights. And then on the B side, you can't tell from the picture, but the glass is broken. So we're simply going to replace that glass covering with the same type of coverings that the other ones have. Any questions on this underpass?
I do have a question, but it's about the maintenance of this.
Yes.
Because it is on the underpass, and I know sometimes people target those. Is there any plan for like long-term maintenance of this to make sure that if the glass breaks, it does get replaced?
So that protective grille is supposed to mitigate damage. However, you know, if you take a skinny stick or something, they can still break it, you know, with ill intention. That's about all we have, right? Because we don't want to block, I'm stating the obvious, we don't want to block the light that's getting emitted. So we need a transparent grille of some kind. So yeah, I don't know if I answered your question. Pretty much what we have in place is about the best we've been able to do. Our backup plan is we anticipate damages before the event. So we're going to have items on hand. We're going to do a mass replacement now, and then we're going to go in and do whatever minimal replacements we got to do before the ribbon cutting or the dedication.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Jody, I have a question for you. Did we review the pendants before?
We did not review the pendants before.
So are
but
they
it's-
just not
it's
being
just a-
Yeah, no,
it's-
I'm fine with it. I just wondered if, since it's not on the application, if we still can include it or what.
I mean, it's really just glass, so the
Yeah.
pendants are not, to me, that's just a minor.
Maintenance, it's more like maintenance.
Yeah, it's a maintenance thing.
Okay,
so
okay, I
it's
just
glass.
wanted
I
to
mean,
confirm.
For the most part, they're all there. This
Yeah,
is
that's what I thought.
my regular
Yeah,
dry house.
okay, thank you.
Excellent.
Joel, do you have questions?
No, it's pretty clear. Thanks.
Yeah, my question was just along the pendant lights. But also, are we talking about repair of paint and paint, just general scope, or is this just lighting?
This is just electrical and lighting.
Okay.
There's another gentleman from DTM that's gonna talk about.
Okay.
paint.
Okay. Got it. Thanks, guys.
Not a problem. Moving on to the 6th Avenue underpass. There are a few things going on. So we have historic replica column lighting that goes along the east and west sides. There is one missing, there's 2 missing. We have replicas made that we are gonna install back in place where they are missing at this time. And then we have new globes that we are gonna install on all the column lighting. Additionally, so it was asked if we could get the column lighting working again. We've had it working in the past. It's been years since it last worked. They're constantly getting vandalized, and there's conduit missing, there's wiring missing. So the decision was made to not get it lit again, although it's gonna have new poles and new spheres. They're not actually gonna light up. To supplement that, we are proposing to install pedestrian lighting on the east and west walls to accent the pedestrian walkways. So I can move to the next slide to help clarify that better. So this would be a close-up of we're proposing. There is existing conduit that feeds the lighting inside the tunnel for vehicular travel. We are able to tap into that conduit and install what these are called wall pack lights. And they're the same thing that you saw on the Stone Avenue tunnels. We're gonna install them 3 on this wall and then 2 on the wall on the east side, which is not pictured. Now, we are not doing that on the north side of the bridge because the recent construction of Macloria Barraza has under deck lighting, which has sufficient lighting over the pedestrian walkways. Inside the drivable tunnels, we have 2 fixtures along the interior walls that are bad. We propose to replace those 2 to match all the others. And then just like Stone, the 2 circles on the right and left are talking about the lighting inside the pedestrian walkways. All of those are either bad or they're turning a different color, which for LEDs is a sign that they need replacement. We are gonna replace every single one with the same fixture type. And to touch on the vandalism aspect again, you can't really see it in the picture too well, but they are under a steel protective cage or enclosure. And that covers the 6th Avenue underpass, and I open it for any questions, comments, or concerns.
Gabriel, on a few of those light poles at the very top, at the very top, there's like a little missing element, like right under where the sphere sits, that orb, there's like a little missing element. Do you have replacement parts for those?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
so I have Bob Steinman here, the streetlight supervisor, and yes,
Yes, we have parts for that.
Just checking. Okay. And this is for the record, these are the globes that I recommended to DTM that they electrify a little bit, so when people try to knock them off, they get a shock. But DTM didn't like that idea.
We did look into that, OSHA declined.
So, Gabriel, I have one question. You said that people vandalize these posts and the conduit is in bad enough shape that they can't be re-energized. Is that right?
We actually have missing conduit. They've ripped it off in sections, and then they take there's sections of the wall that have been like drilled out where the conduit would pass through. They've filled it up with junk. I mean, it's not something that it's impossible, but we just felt like with our experience, the return on investment just is not there. It's very difficult to keep up.
I'm wondering, it's a shame people do that. I'm wondering if right now the conduit is on the pedestrian side. I'm wondering if the conduit was on the vehicular side, if that would limit that, because people wouldn't stand in traffic, presumably, to mess with it. Is that something that's possible?
Well, anything's really possible, but when they want something, it really doesn't matter if it's on a vehicular side or a pedestrian side. We were getting wire theft all over Tucson, and I had talked to a gentleman from ADOT, and there's guys that are actually stealing wire in the middle of the freeway.
Wow.
So I'm just putting out there that if they want it, it doesn't matter if there's vehicles or not, they'll just go out there and do it anyways.
Yeah, and Andrew, I should have mentioned the emphasis was not, it's not on vandalism, it's theft. They're turning this in and recycling and trying to get money.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Is any other questions, Ricky or Joel or James?
Yeah, this is Joel. My question was related to that also. I think it's a shame we can't light those things up. You know,
Yeah,
Very
this is.
cement or
sorry.
something. I don't know, but yeah, but I understand the vandalism issue. So
Yes, Jan, I agree. It's a shame, but I get it. My only question is whether Is the conduit all external and it's being removed and it's gonna be obvious when people go by in the daytime that they're not lit, or are they gonna be vandalized anyway with people poking around looking for stuff? Or is it all external and pretty obvious that that's what's?
If I understood you correctly, yeah, the conduit is all external. I can't
Yeah.
speak to whether the lighting was something that was thought of after the bridge was built. You know, as we're all very well aware, the bridge is very old. But the conduit, yeah, conduit is not.
Okay. So it's not like they'd walk by and think, oh, there's conduit in the wall or in the lamps or whatever. So, okay,
Correct.
thanks.
Well, maybe once this is all lit up and cleaned up and it's more activated with pedestrians, if we see, you know, a drop in the vandalism to the tunnel or the underpasses in general, maybe we could come back and revisit that and look at, you know, investing in lighting those back up. But who knows? I hope it doesn't get worse, or, you know, maybe decreases. We'll see.
Absolutely. I mean, that's always an option if we can see that the vandalism is going down and we have that option of trying it out. And I would love to see them lit up too. I've never seen them lit up, so.
Yeah, me neither.
See,
I mean, the wall packs will also have exposed conduit, right?
They will. The only benefit we have in our favor is that it's out of reach. It's above head level.
So what height is it at? I mean, because there's a ramp down, so at some point you can reach it, right?
It's about 7 foot above the adjacent sidewalk. Whereas the column lighting that we're talking about runs along the protective wall, which is like 4 foot height.
So people would not be able to stand on the other side and reach over and just grab it from the top?
Oh, yeah, yes, absolutely. You know, and like Bob mentioned earlier, if they really want it, I mean, they're gonna get it. We have people standing on ladders in other parts of town doing wacky things, you know, putting cameras up, taking wiring down, breaking lights.
they're doing it in broad daylight downtown. They'll open a pull box, put a buck and pretend like they're working in a box and they're actually cutting wire and stealing it.
That's disappointing. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna ask, can you speak to how the globes are attached to the pole? And if the globes get knocked off, what kind of damage is it gonna do to the pole?
So the globes, maybe some of you are familiar with this at home. The bottom of the globe actually has like a ring that sticks out. And so when it fits into that cup, you've got screws that just kind of will
Tighten up against it.
yep, and hold it in place. Thankfully, the globe is plexiglass. When they hit it, they shatter it. All it affects is the globe. It doesn't really impact the cup on the bottom. You know, unless they accidentally hit the cup on the bottom, it is steel, but it's replaceable. It doesn't necessarily damage the pole. It's more the cup and the globe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
I guess one last question I had was just to make sure for the side that does have the wall packs that I mean, I don't know what the sequence of your work and Roger's work, right? Or what's this, C. Farley, sorry, who's doing the art, that he could coordinate with where your wall packs are and his postcards layout. Just wanting to make sure that, you know, he has the opportunity to respond to where those end up getting placed.
Absolutely, Savannah. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Yeah, we'll be sure to get in touch with him. If it's not too much trouble, if someone could share that contact information with Roger Kessler and myself, Gabriel Ruscone, and we'll be happy to reach out and coordinate that.
Roger has it.
Okay, great.
This is Jan. I just had one other question. I was going to wait till the painting part, but it seems like it relates to this one too. And it just goes to the city's level of attention and commitment to maintenance after doing all this work. You know, because that's, especially with hopefully making this more inviting and having more pedestrian opportunities for connection and connectivity. You know, those underpasses are not really thrilling right now. And I just wondered if the city was going to be paying a little more attention to keeping them clean and just checking them first. So if there is a maintenance issue there, it's responded to more quickly and it doesn't just become kind of a cumulative blight.
Yes, understandably so. I think with the completion of Downtown Links, the dedication to Donovan, I think it's going to be a nice reset button. And absolutely, we'll be paying more attention to the maintenance.
Great, that's what I was hoping. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Gabriel, Roger had reached out to the gentleman who was also supposed to be here to do the paint.
Yes, Jerry is here.
Okay, Jerry, did you wanna, if everybody's done, Jerry, did you wanna present on the paint?
I mean, as far as presentation or presenting, what we plan on doing is keeping the existing color schemes on both bridges. The 6th Street Bridge, just to give you the name of the paint that's currently being used. And this is also the color being used when we do graffiti touch up. Just keep that in mind. And it's not us; it's a company. Let me give you the name of that real quick. Forgive me when I'm on these Zooms, my computer slows down.
And Jerry, if you need to share your screen, you're welcome to do so. I made you a co-host.
Okay, thank you. In a sense of a presentation, we basically have what Gabriel just showed you. Again, keeping what we're doing for paint or what we're proposing for paint is keeping it original. So the 6th Street Bridge would stay the same gray. I mean the Stone Bridge, and the 6th Bridge has 4 different colors that were identified by the current vendor that does the touch-ups for graffiti. And those colors were ash gray, dark walnut, burnt rosewood, I believe it's called. Again, forgive me, my computer's acting up here. I'm trying to pull up the names. Give me a second here.
Who's the manufacturer of the paint, do you know?
PPG is the brand that they're currently using. Okay, here we go. So for the 6th Street Bridge, the colors are rosewood, ash gray, dark walnut, and Adobe South. And those are PPG colors.
And do those match? I know those match current colors. Do they match this historic or original?
So
color?
as far as if you're referencing and the original color scheme, that I could not find. I'm going off the existing color scheme that's been there for quite a bit of years now. So this is what is the request to paint is based off of, using the existing 4 colors and just mimicking the same color scheme and where the colors are positioned. Just obviously having a fresh coat of paint. With that being said, scraping down the walls. I did request the majority of the work to be hand done, hand scrapers. However, they stated to me there will be sections where they will have to do a very light power wash with water. It wouldn't be can't think of the word now. It wouldn't be sandblast. It wouldn't be sand. In other words, it would be light pressured water in certain areas where they would have to remove paint, but the rest would be hand scraped all the way through. And where they can, they will repair certain cracks. I believe up to a 1/4 inch, they can fill those in, and small missing portions of the cement. They also have a material that they can kind of flatten it, fill it in and flatten it. But I did receive an email the other day that apparently we have a company going in to fix some of the damaged structure already. So I need to talk more with David Burbank to see exactly what all they're going to fix on that 6th Bridge.
Do you have any idea right now of like area where they'd mostly be repairing that damage, or is it just there's lots of little repairs throughout?
There's various, man, throughout the whole area. So if you see here where Gabriel's zooming in, those are minor, but we do have some major pieces missing as you go further into the tunnel, whether you're entering from the south or you're entering from the north. As my understanding that recently there was a tractor or truck that right there that smashed, see that portion right there, that smashed that structure part right there. So I believe they're going to get that fixed with ISL company. They'll be coming in and doing that work, that structure work or repair, I should say.
Okay, thank you.
Dan or anyone else on the paint?
I
comments or
also,
questions?
Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I also wanted to mention prior to this painting being done, we will coordinate with their sign department to remove all these. You see here the stop sign, the do not enter sign. We'll have all that removed prior to them prepping the bridge for paint, and then we'll repost these signs. Obviously, they'll all be brand new, so that'll be an added plus to have new signage up there and maybe a little bit newer design that we may be using. So just keep that in mind. We will remove all of this and replace it once the paint has been done.
Have you guys considered doing a scraper bar or something at the like further up from the entrance to the tunnel to try and mitigate some of those vehicle strikes? Because I know these are probably the lowest underpasses in the city and they've been hit a lot over the years.
It's something we can look into.
Okay.
Now, when you say scraper bar, you're talking about actually, I guess mount.
Yeah, kind of like how like drive-throughs have them before you
Right.
get to the window.
Right.
know?
Okay. So just real quick, what in my dealing with this project here the last few years, they've had concerns about the overall height of the bridges right now, and the fact that the majority of the vehicles um can barely make it through. You know, not the larger trucks, but obviously like mid-sized trucks and lower cars. So if you're referencing like me putting them up on the roof and on the sides, it would be concerned because then you're reducing the already narrow tunnels, you know, for cars to drive through. But it's something we can definitely explore.
Yeah, I'm just talking about something more like on the uphill sides, like when you're still on, I guess when you turn like on the Sixth Ave case, when you turn from Toole Avenue, like right at that first, like where that
Oh, I see what
guardrail.
you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
we could explore that type, or we could even explore possibly installing bollards. There's a few options we could definitely look into if we need to
yeah,
install those.
yeah, or maybe even just like a lighted clearance sign or something that grabs people's attention. I mean, someone will still hit it for sure, but
Correct, correct. But and again, forgive me for being so simple, but we're trying to keep with with what's existing. But again, in my research downtown at the U of A at the historic study, I couldn't find anything indicating any kind of original color scheme that was first applied when these bridges were made.
Do you happen to know how long this current color scheme has been used for?
You know, I had asked GPC, which is the current vendor that's maintaining it, as far as repaints and removal graffiti. If I recall, this was about a year and a half ago. If I recall, they said the last 7 or 8 years, if my mind serves me right, they've been using this scheme.
Thank you.
I think this is Jan. The other thing we talked about, I think, was Steve Farley, besides just doing paper research, is whether it's someone from the city or Steve Farley could do some scraping and analysis to see if there's any colors under there. Just in terms of any other colors that were used in the past.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it seems like if we're kind of taking a fresh start to it, it'd be worth, finding out as much as we can and potentially, taking that information and moving forward with it instead of just going with what was
Fluctuating.
decided 7 years ago, right? By who knows who.
I mean, it could have been just what paint was available, you know, when the crew came out.
That could be it too. Keep in mind, this paint fades, you guys can tell. It's continuously fading, getting beat by the sun. So that could have happened when the company came out. They tried to match it as close as possible, or maybe kind of assumed what it actually looked like when it was, in its freshest of color. So they may be off a little bit, or somebody may have said, hey, do this. We don't know.
But is that something the city could put a little bit of effort into, at least? Sounds like you've done some research, but checking out on site as well.
It's something I can ask my administrator. I'd have to see we have the capabilities of, if you're referencing scraping down and try to find an original color. I can see what all is involved in that other than just scraping, but I'd have to talk with my administrator on that and my deputy director.
Any other questions? Joel, did you have more?
No, thank you. I was just gonna talk about, at one point I was involved with Tucson High School, and we did a scraping project like you're speaking of, and we found 12 different colors on one outbuilding where the gym is. So sometimes it can get crazy. People just painting haphazardly, whatever they had in the basement.
I mean, I think that's it for questions. Is there any more presentation on this case? No? Okay. How do you guys feel about is someone prepared to make a motion, maybe making some comments about this painting research? And the crash bar? I mean, just some good suggestions for review.
The crash bar, which is a horrible name, the crash bar would have to come back through for review. Cause it would be at the end of but it's something.
Kind of like that bike bridge did. Can't.
Which bike bridge?
That goes over, I'm being a little bit sarcastic. I think.
Oh, yeah, because that did
That
not
would
come
have-
through.
Right.
That did not come through this board, and I see it
Correct.
every day, and
I know.
think
it's
about
annoying.
that.
It's, yeah.
Thank you for saying that, Jen.
Well,
What do
you
you guys
put in
think?
your motion, any future crash bar or height bar or whatever it's called is brought through for review to determine the visual impacts.
Yes, right.
Yeah, or signage or anything that might just be kind of prominent that we want to look at.
And you can also, it's your prerogative to make the recommendation that they do a scrape analysis.
Yeah, I think that would be good. If we want to exclude the crash bar or anything from the motion, I think we can just make it general that any change in signage, comes back for review.
Well, so normally signage is not something that you review even in district, so the stop sign or the stop sign coming or the do not enter isn't something that's typically reviewed.
Is that, okay, I was thinking like for freestanding stuff, we wouldn't review, but stuff that's affixed to the actual structure would be.
Because that is kind of in a murky area, it's not something typically you review, even if it's attached.
Oh, okay.
Because it's because it's traffic related.
Or
It's-
code or safety or.
Yeah, I can talk to them about how they attach it. But it's, again, it's not something, because it's not, it's a safety thing.
Yes.
So it's not something that usually falls within your review.
It's all for you.
I think that's Elaine.
Jody, if I may add, yeah, there is a manual on uniform traffic design standards that we have to follow. So pretty much all the signage that you see there is required lawfully. So in agreement with you in terms of how things are affixed and stuff like that. But the signage that you see there, you know, the bridge height, all the other stuff, that's required. I may be repeating what everybody said, but just wanted to support that.
Okay. So I think, Savannah, the motion, I can make it, would just be to approve the lighting as submitted and to direct them to do further analysis on the paint color and bring any findings back to us for review. Is that right?
That sounds good to me. I don't know if you want to say anything about coordination with, or to, you know, recommend coordination with Farley
Yeah, that's a good
and his
idea.
art.
Okay. It's Steve Farley, or no, not, is it?
Yes.
Steven?
Okay,
No, it's Steve Farley.
okay. Okay, if we're all ready, I can make the motion then.
Please.
Okay. All right, on the matter of SD 0724000062 Stone Avenue Underpass and 6th Avenue Underpass, I move to approve the lighting as submitted, and I move to approve the paint as submitted with the following conditions. Oh, sorry, I'll start it over. I didn't mean to approve the lighting like that. All right, on the matter of SD 0724000062 Stone Avenue Underpass and 6th Avenue Underpass, I move to approve the lighting as submitted with the following condition, that the applicant coordinate with the artist Steve Farley relative to the placement of the wall pack lights and the wall mounted artwork. I move to approve the exterior paint with the condition that further exploration be done to uncover any original colors that may be present and to bring that back for review if a new scheme is proposed.
Great, any seconds?
This is Ricky, I'll second.
Great, thank you. All right, we will vote on it. Savannah, I say aye. Ricky?
Aye.
Joel?
Aye.
Jan?
Aye.
Andrew? All right, great. Motion passes 5-0. Is there any further instruction that you need to provide Jody for the applicants?
No, there will be a decision letter issued, and we will get that out to you, so you have that for your records. And then I'm gonna touch base with you on a couple of items. Other than that, you guys know how to get a hold of me fairly easily. Did you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So moving on in the agenda, no more cases. We'll move to item 4, which is public and institutional use in a development zone discussion. 4A being discussion on the use of public and institutional buildings as comparative properties in development zones. I know we don't have Terry here, but do we want to proceed with discussion on this item?
I'd be
Jan, what do
okay
you
waiting.
think?
I'd be okay waiting.
I can just keep it on the agenda. It's okay.
Thanks.
Okay. That's fine. I think that's similar with our next item, which is item 5, Task Force on Inclusivity Report Recommendations. 5A being discussion on best practices for naming of city and county owned physical assets. Is there any comment on this item or discussion topic?
No.
Okay, thanks, Ricky. Moving on to item 6, current issues for information and discussion. Item 6A, minor reviews. Staff, do you have any updates?
Yeah, we do. Oh, okay. The last time we had we scheduled for 2 minor reviews, but we were only able to do one because the second applicant called in sick. We did a minor review at 341 East First Street for roof replacement in West University. And I believe I did this with Joel.
Joel, you're muted.
Can you remind me of the address, Michael?
341 East First Street.
Their shingles blew off and they had a tarp. His name was Thomas Jefferson.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Emergency review.
Right. And you know, I'm frankly gonna have to find my notes, but I think we found that to be nothing in it offended the standards and the guidelines of West University, as I recall, but I can find my notes. Michael, what day did we do that? I apologize for being a little disorganized here.
Michael, I reviewed that with you.
Oh, there you go.
Was it? Oh, sorry. I think it was,
No, that's all right.
That's why Joel didn't remember it.
I was scrambling to type it in and see.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we approved it as submitted. They're replacing like for like, and they seem like they're taking care to preserve like the craftsman features on the overhangs and all of that. So no issues.
Okay, sorry. Being right here.
I had a question about a minor review that we got a letter on. It was a Starbucks sign. And is that on Congress?
130.
Yeah, I don't know who did the minor review, but my question was, there'd been another wall-mounted sign that came down, and when that sign went up, it was like for the L, it was a co-working space.
Yeah.
And we had written as part of that the sign, any future signs would utilize the same holes, or when that came down, they'd repair the wall. And just from the description, it sounded like there were a whole bunch of new holes going in for the Starbucks sign. So I just was curious about that. I don't know where it's going, but I think it's on the Chicago Music Store, right?
Yeah, the Starbucks sign is going as like a first floor level only, whereas the L office was mounted to the second floor.
Okay. And they couldn't mount it up there, was that the deal?
I had thought that had been repaired where the L signage was, that those holes had been repaired. Am I incorrect about that?
Well,
Michael?
maybe they were. I thought the idea was if there were more wall-mounted signs, they would try and use the same location.
Yeah.
I can't say whether it was repaired or not. You can still see a bunch of marks up there, but I didn't really scrutinize it.
And I did put in the motion for this one, for the Starbucks sign, that they need to like leave it there if they're gonna leave, so that somebody else can reuse those brackets.
They may have not been able to put it up on the second floor because the Starbucks is not on the second floor. The Starbucks is on the first floor. But
well, it'd give more visibility. I mean, I don't think it's advertising second floor. It's just a sign for the building, really. Unless that's just Peach told them they couldn't.
I can't speak for.
Okay, I just had a question about that. Okay, thanks, Ricky.
Yes, I have 2 minor reviews that I'll be asking for availability. There's the one that Andrew, the one that we did not do in Emery Park at 345 South 4th Avenue. I'll be more than willing to schedule that probably for next week if you are still available to do that. And I have the second one at 5396 East Fort Low for a solar panel. So I'm requesting availability for anybody who can help with these two.
Michael, I can still help with those.
Okay, thank you, Ricky. I'll get in touch with you.
Okay.
That concludes the minor review portion of the review today.
Thank you. How about 6B appeals? Any updates?
We do not have any appeals pending right now that we know of.
And item 6C zoning violations?
We are continuing to work with our staff, help Rick Serrate for all this minor review. There is one that is in the review process that should be coming to you pretty soon afterwards. University, the Aggie House. They remove all the windows, so we're getting them to go through compliance. So as soon as we get any of this, we'll bring them to you.
Thank you. What about 6Z review process? Any issues? Does anyone have a topic to discuss? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
slight review process issue. I am thinking about moving, for those of you who show up in person, moving it to the 3rd floor. Michael and I are actually housed on the 3rd floor and we come downstairs for this meeting, so it's a slightly smaller conference room, but now we've been doing this hybrid thing for a little while and I think it will still fit everybody who shows up. I haven't worked that out, but I'm just I'm giving you fair warning that I may be moving that up to the 3rd floor.
So not yet, just you'll let us know at
I'll
some
let you-
point. Okay.
Yeah.
That seems great. That seems fine, as long as it's easy for, I mean, it doesn't seem like applicants are often presenting in person, but some might want to, so as long as it's easy for them to get to, I don't see any issue. Yeah.
It's just a matter of letting everybody in through security, I think, so I just have to talk. It's a little bit of a different situation down here, the way security works.
I mean, we just put the trash can in the door, prop it open, right? Just do the same thing. That sounds good. Okay, thank you, Jody. That's reasonable. All right, any other review process issues? Okay. Move on to item 7, summary of public comments for information only. Were any received?
We did not receive any public comments.
Okay, thank you. Item 8, future agenda items for upcoming meetings, the next being September 12th.
Correct. So the one that you saw crossed off on this agenda, I thought I was gonna fit it on, and then he said no, so then it went off. It was just a back and forth. That is for a courtesy review for the Corbett House. You may recall, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, there was a small fire that happened there. So not only are they going to be rehabbing that, they are also talking about making it into an event center. So they wanted to bring that by for a courtesy review. So there's that item. We have an item that'll come forward that's in West University. We did that review earlier this week. And it's in West University. It's along 4th Avenue. It's for a new restaurant that's going in and some minor modifications that they're making to the building. And fairly soon, you're gonna be seeing the design guidelines for the West University. So they periodically, they did a big update back in, I think, 2015. And then they periodically go through and just kind of update based on like materials, kind of what they're seeing and everything like that. So once they finish with that, it'll make its way here to PRS so you guys can have a review of it. And off the top of my head, those are the ones that I can recall.
There's also the monastery.
Oh yeah, that courtesy.
Which was
actually another big
ask
discussion internally, but yes, that's also coming on the 12th. Thank you for that reminder.
Just, you know, just Just knew that. Great. I mean, I will not be here on the 12th. Who is everyone else able to attend? Any attendance issues with that one?
Are you not here for that item, or are you just generally not here?
Generally not, but also not for that item. Yeah.
I'll be here. It's Joel. I'll be here.
I'll be here.
I'll be here too.
And my schedule's still kind of day by day. I'll be here, probably, but I can't say 100%.
Okay.
Jody,
And
Jody,
hopefully
there's
Terry can get back into the country, fingers crossed.
Jody, there's no plan for the Subcommittee house to go through yet, right?
I haven't gotten anything from you.
Okay, I know permitting gave their comments back. I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to be at that meeting.
I can check on it. Will you offline send me the permit activity number and I'll dig into it a little bit more?
Okay.
Do you know who made the motion for the area?
Who, can you remind us who made the motion for the LAR? Michael's taking notes.
I think I did.
Yeah, Andrew,
Who seconded?
Joel.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you.
Cool. Any other future agenda items? Any heads up on anything?
I don't know, do you guys wanna remind me of something I've forgotten? No, I
I
mean,
think that's it.
we have some that are kind of a little further out, like there's a streetery and there's the hut and stuff like that, but they're ID related and they're a little further out.
Okay.
Well, and the whole Euclid and Speedway also a little further out.
Okay.
Oh, Ricky, we're working on with Mark to get him scheduled for burial for that door.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, he was supposed to go this month, but he was out of town, he didn't wanna do it, so he should be going on to September 9th, I think it is.
If he submits everything, the document is submitted nothing.
Oh, well, no, it's gonna be too soon for us to get it on the 12th anyways, right? We'll probably see him if he's in town at the end of September.
That's the theory, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Well, if there's nothing more, I will go ahead and call for adjournment at 1:55. Thank you all.
Good job.
Great job, yeah,
Good job, Spenna.
Came in under an hour. It's good.
yeah,
I know, that's a new record.
excellent, thank you. See y'all.
Great. Take care, you
Thank
guys.
you. Have a good night.